Hello everyone, how are we all doing? Welcome back to Championship Predictions. There's some massive games coming in the Championship this weekend. As ever, do make sure to hit that like button. We'll go for 369 likes. It's a massive target. Can we do it, Sophie?
Of course we can.
And how are you doing? Are you alright?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad. Like I say, guys, get involved, drop a like, subscribe, and get your predictions in, most importantly. Let's start with the Friday night game, which is Stoke City versus Blackburn. Now, Blackburn are absolutely fantastic. I mean, they are doing so well into the FA Cup quarter-finals. They're only, 9 points behind second place. Who knows if they could do that. But up against Stoke, who won 5-1 at Sunderland.
What was that about?
It makes this one a little bit more tricky to predict. Over a stretch of time, you'd say Blackburn are the better team, but you just wonder if Stoke could put in another performance like that, they could beat Blackburn. But I think we're getting to that point of the season now, Sophie, where I call it the business end. And it's the teams that have got a lot more to play for that I might back. I'm going to back Blackburn to squeeze a 2-1 win.
Yeah, I do see there being goals in this. I've been saying for a while that Blackburn, they're a good team, but they're inconsistent. But recent weeks, they've found some consistency and they are looking very, very good. Not taking anything away from Stoke with that result against Sunderland, but I think that was a bit of a freak result. I don't think they're going to follow it up with another win. But I see them getting a couple of goals, so 3-2 to Rovers.
Wow, okay, big game that one. We'll move on to the lunchtime game on the Saturday. We have Bristol City taking on Blackpool. Now, Bristol City, it's not been a great couple of weeks for them, and they lost 2-0 to Cardiff. They then drew 0-0 at Huddersfield. It does look as if they were the more positive team in the first half and they just didn't take their chances, but 2 games without scoring, and they're now up against a team that's better rested and a team that actually got a clean sheet against Burnley. So fair play to Blackpool. They come into this on the back of that 0-0 against Burnley and they'll really want to build on it. The position they're in, they probably have to win games now rather than just draw. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to put the cat amongst the pigeons and say Blackpool could just about sneak a 2-1 win here.
Oh wow, that'd be a massive result. Do you know, I see this being a really, really frustrating game and it ending a stalemate again. Another 0-0 for Bristol City.
Yeah. Like I say,
wouldn't be a good result, but I think Blackpool would take that, to be honest, because building on that.
Yeah, perhaps. Right, we'll move on to some of the 3 p.m. games. We start with another massive game down the bottom, Birmingham City versus Rotherham. Now, at the start of the season, a lot of people fancied these two to be 2 teams to get relegated, but to their credit, they do look like they're going to stay up. It's not certain yet, but you look at the way the bottom 3 teams are playing, and you think these 2 have got more than enough points on the board to get over the line. Birmingham, last time out, 1-1 against Wigan Athletic. It's an okay point. It's not really like they're setting the world on fire, but they're just keeping themselves away from danger. Meanwhile, Rotherham, a very good win against Queen's Park Rangers. I think this will be a share of the spoils. Rotherham, I tend to back when they're at home, but I still think they might be able to get a point here. I'm going to say 1-1.
No, I'm backing the Millers. I think they're going to get a massive 3 points against Blues. I see both teams scoring, but I'm just going to have to edge Rotherham. I think they've been impressing me, actually, since we played them. They've put a good bit of run of form together, and I think it's going to continue against Blues. So 2-1 to the Millers. 2-1,
wow. Okay, right, we'll move on to Turf Moor, where Burnley take on Wigan Athletic. Now, Wigan, as I say, they played midweek, actually, and they lost 1-0 to West Bromwich Albion. I think what's frustrating with Wigan Athletic is they've been in quite a few of these games. They've drawn, they've lost by 1 goal or 2 goals, and then just not quite getting enough to get over the line this season. And Wigan are going away to Burnley, who are obviously top of the league, but Burnley only managed a 0-0 draw against Blackpool at the weekend just gone, and I feel like Vincent Kompany will want a reaction from that team. I feel like Burnley have pretty much wrapped up automatics. I mean, obviously they'll still want to keep picking up points from now until the end of the season, and what's going to be interesting to see is if Burnley can keep themselves motivated for those last 10-11 games, even when it looks like they are going up. And like I say, I think there's going to be a reaction. I'm going to go Burnley 4-0.
Okay, see, I don't think it's going to be a massive goal fest. If Colo Toro was still in charge of Wigan, then maybe I'd have backed that, because he just did a shocking job. However, with the new manager, they just seem a little bit more steady. I'd kind of describe them as not amazing, but also nowhere near as bad as they have been. Coming up against Burnley, it's a really, really tough game, especially at Turf Moor. So I know it sounds harsh to say, like, not a goal fest in a 2-0 defeat, but I don't think that's terrible for their goal difference. No. And Burnley will obviously be happy with that as well, to get a couple of goals and a clean sheet. So 2-0 to Burnley.
2-0 to Burnley. Okay, we go to the CBS. Coventry City take on Hull City. It does look like Hull might bring quite a few thousand fans down to this one, which would be great to see. Hull have been a tricky team to put your finger on this season, but in general, been a bit better in the recent months. And a great 2-0 win against West Brom last Friday night. I mean, to be honest, Hull, in the grand scheme of things, don't have all too much to play for. Yes, they'll want to finish as high as they can, but I don't think they'll be able to make the playoffs, and I don't think they're anywhere near going down. They could cause Coventry some problems here, and I know Coventry just won 4-0 against Huddersfield, but I think this is a much tougher game. I think Coventry might edge it, but I'm not 100% confident. I feel like Hull could actually really make this difficult. I'm going to say 1-0 Sky Blues, but it won't be easy.
Yeah, I don't see it being an easy game, but that's not giving Hull loads of credit. It's more because of our injury crisis at the moment. However, saying that we had the injury crisis and we beat Huddersfield 4-0, I don't think that was an amazing performance. I don't think we really got out of second gear in that game, which is crazy considering it was a 4-0 win. I do agree. I think Hull are a tougher opposition. They've had a decent run of form coming up to this game, so I think they could think we'll get a point here. However, I'm going to have to back the Sky Blues and another clean sheet for Ben Wilson. 2-0.
2-0 Sky Blues. Well, that'd be massive, honestly. Okay, next up, Preston North End versus Cardiff City. Don't know what to make of this one. I feel tempted to go for a 0-0. Preston with a goalless draw at Watford. That's not a bad point. And then before that was a goalless draw with Coventry. It's like they've gone back to their old roots. As for Cardiff City, a good win against Bristol City last time out, 2-0. And they've been solid as well. So I'm really tempted to go 0-0. But I feel like this game could be won or lost on a mistake or a piece of brilliance. And I'm going to go for a 1-0 to Preston.
Oh, I'm going the other way. I could see it being a low-scoring game because both teams are kind of like that. They're not going to absolutely roll one another. I've not been massively impressed by Preston in the past few weeks. But I'll say with Cardiff, they've had a couple good results recently, and I think they could get another one here. Low-scoring game, not the most entertaining, but 3 points for Cardiff. 1-0. 1-0.
Okay, right, on we go down to West London. It's Queen's Park Rangers versus Watford, and QPR need a result pretty soon. They're really starting to get sucked into the mix. A defeat to Rotherham was never going to be helpful, and you look at them sliding down the table, you feel like they're actually going to get sucked in.
Good.
If any of that bottom three put a good run together, QPR are in danger unless they actually pick up their form. They're up against Watford. Watford only a 0-0 against Preston last time, but they've brought in Chris Wilder, and I look at Watford's fixtures and I think, do you know what? I think they could get in there. Chris Wilder needs to hit the ground running though, and he knows this division. He has done well in it on many occasions. I'm going to go QPR 0, Watford 2.
Yeah, I think Watford with the new manager, they're going to have a bit of a bounce now. I think, I've said it before with Watford, they just get rid of managers. They never give them enough time. Chris Wilder, we'll see if he does a good job, although it only seems he can do a good job with Sheffield United, but we'll see.
He did a decent job at first with Middlesbrough.
At first, yeah, but then he drops right off it, and then their fans couldn't stand him in the end. And you can see why now, look at them. Anyway, so with QPR as well, I don't think they're looking good at all. I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm going to agree with you with a 2-0 Watford win. 2-0.
Okay, right. On we go to Reading, who take on Millwall. Reading played in midweek. They lost 1-0 to Sheffield United, and I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of Reading this season, but I don't look at them as a particularly scintillating team. I just think their team it's got experience in it, but probably not enough flair for me. And they're up against Millwall, who have obviously got a lot to play for, but they lost to Norwich last time. So I think this could be a very low-scoring game where Millwall just try and snatch it 1-0, and I think they might. I'm going to go 1-0 Millwall.
Yeah, I think if I was to lean towards any team, it would be Millwall. However, I see a draw playing out here, and that being really, really frustrating for Millwall. I'm going to say 1-1. 1-1.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one, that. This is possibly one of the biggest games of the weekend at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United versus Luton Town. Sheffield United managed to restore that 7-point gap when it did seem like they were faltering a little bit.
It did, yeah.
But like I say, back to winning ways. But this is a tricky one. But they are at home, and maybe at Bramall Lane they can get their fans behind them and get 3 points over the line. You feel like they've probably got to try and win this because Middlesbrough could make up some ground on them. But Luton Town, they got back to winning ways against Swansea City at Kenilworth Road last time. Luton Town have got some tough games coming, but so too does Sheffield United. This is a massive game. I'm tempted to go for a draw, but do you know what? I'm going to edge Sheffield United 1-0.
Yeah, I think both teams are going to score for me, but the Blades really need a win if they want to cement that second place as theirs, and I think they're going to do it. I don't think Luton are going to make it an easy game, but I do see the Blades picking up the 3 points, so 2-1.
2-1. On to Swansea City, who take on Middlesbrough. Now, this is absolutely massive. Middlesbrough will have seen Sheffield United's result, and they'll know that they have to keep winning if they've got any chance of catching them. It will be great to see if it does go all the way to the wire. Got to say, what a result. 5-0 against Reading last time. They're absolutely flying. Michael Carrick has got them firing on all cylinders. Swansea City, meanwhile, bit of a tricky one. It's not looking great for Russell Martin there. They did lose to Luton. They can be competitive, so I don't think this will be another 5-0 for Middlesbrough, but I do see them getting a few goals. I'm going to go 3-1 Middlesbrough.
Yeah, see, I don't actually see Swansea scoring in this, and I think Middlesbrough are going to win this pretty comfortably. They're looking very good. I've said it for a while now. I think Carrick's doing a great job. I think Swansea are not looking too good, so it's a bad time to be playing Middlesbrough, and I think Borough are going to win 3-0.
3-0, wow, that is comprehensive. 2 games left, on we go. West Bromwich Albion take on Huddersfield Town. Both sides played in midweek. Both sides got a clean sheet. West Brom beating Wigan 1-0, and they've kept their top 6 chances alive, but they'll really want to make it 6 points this week with a win against Huddersfield, who only drew 0-0 with Bristol City. I saw Neil Warnock in his post-match comments was trying to take the positives out of it, but ultimately that was probably one of the easiest games they had left this season. Yeah. Huddersfield have got a very tough run coming. They've got the hardest fixtures that anyone's got left this season, and I think it's going to be quite a comfortable West Brom win. I'm going to say 2-0.
Okay, I see it being another 1-0 win for West Brom. I think West Brom do need the points here, equally so do Huddersfield, but I don't think they've got the team to do it. So 1-0 to the Baggies.
1-0 to the Baggies. Okay, this is an interesting one. The final game at Carrow Road, Norwich versus Sunderland. And we're starting to see the Tony Mowbray fall off.
Yeah, it always happens. It always happens.
We said it.
The team he's got as well, but he had it with us in League One.
We said it a couple of weeks ago, Sunderland fans. Beware, Tony Mowbray does not do second halves of the season. No, and that 5-1 defeat to Stoke at the hands of their former boss, Alex Neil, really embarrassing, really brutal. Painful. And this is not where you want to go. Norwich have just won 3-2 at Millwall. I don't think Sunderland are going to really be in this game. I'll give them a goal, but I'm going to say Norwich 3-1.
No, I think Sunderland, as I just said, I think they've got a good team, to be honest. And I don't think you can put it all down to Mowbray. I think if you lose 5-1, it's the players that are on the pitch at the end of the day. And I see them conceding a few more in this one as well. Norwich, I think they've had a bit of turn in form. David Wagner's got them firing again, and they are looking quite good. So I'm going to have to back Norwich to win. So 3-0.
3-0.
Canaries, yeah.
Wow, that is very comfortable. So then, guys, that wraps up the video. Do make sure to get your predictions down below. As I say, do make sure to drop a like and subscribe while you're here as well. And we'll see you for Premier League predictions later today. Peace out.